All right. Okay. Good morning. Good morning from the sunrise studio. The sun is actually rising. I just looked directly at it, so that kind of sucks. I am Sarah Peasley, hand knitter, and this is Hand Knitter Live on Monday morning. And I'm happy to see you. There we go. Oops, let's move things over. Um, this is my half hour. Sarah, you need to wake up and be ready for the day. And then on we go. So here I am. I don't know what I'll get to today. I actually have a lot to say, not in a bad way, in a good way. Let's start with a cup of tea, shall we? Have a cup of tea. My go-to in the first morning light is this is Lipton, just black tea. Inject it as quickly as possible. Do I have everything? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. This is a mug with a sheep who looks very happy, and it says "Knit Happy." And I put things in the dishwasher, so the Knit Happy has a little flaw now, as do we all. um, and at first I thought, oh no, I can't keep it. It has a flaw. And then as time went on, I was like, Sarah, you can keep the sheep who has the flaw. It's your part. You're doing that. I mean, I'm the one who put him in the dishwasher. I still put him in the dishwasher. Now I'm conscious of not having him lean up against other items. Ooh, woo, that is hot. Yay. Okay. Oh, that's not dust. It's kind of so the sun is really bright, but it's also foggy. So it's dispersed, technical solar words, and it's shining in my eyes, but that's the whole point of the sunrise studio. So it's making me all shiny. Okay, let's move on, shall we? So this is 9 to 9:30, and then I'm ready to start the day. Today is at 10:30. I have my annual physical, and I have not yet met my doctor, believe it or not. During COVID times, my regular doctor, who I loved, what just happened? My regular doctor, who I loved, still love, she moved to San Diego, San something, over on the other coast. Excuse me. Um, so I was left without my doctor during COVID times. We had at least one telehealth meeting. So I was, assigned another doctor in the practice who I have not yet met. That was since early COVID times. So it's been 2 years I haven't met my doctor. I have been to the doctor, but I see the PA, the physician's assistant, all the time. So who's lovely. I love her. I love everybody. I love you. Have you been told that lately? Have I told you lately that I love you? Is that a song? um, yeah, so today I have my annual physical, and I think I get to actually meet the doctor. So hooray. And I'm trying to think of things that I need to say. Um, because this is my 15 minutes of fame, my 10 minutes of my hopefully an hour of here's what's going on in my life. So uh and I'm trying to make a list right this second. So I'll just sit there while I make my list. Anyway, as I think of things, I'll write them down, because that's from 10:30 to 11:30-ish, hopefully, if everybody's on time. And then at noon, I'm at Woven Art. Good morning, Marilyn. It's nice to see you. Have you been out walking yet? It was 36 degrees when I rolled out of bed. Not in the house, thank goodness, but outside. So we're wearing a coat. Noon to 5, I'll be at the shop, last I heard. This weekend was shop hop. I worked I worked the shop hop. It was fun. I like seeing people that I haven't seen in a long time, so that's really good. Mondays are for beginnings. I will tell you that or new shiny things, or things that you have torn out since Friday and restarted. So I will tell you that, excuse me, let's write down that I've had a slight cough. Okay. This is my Sharon from Security official bag with the official Sharon from Security badge. Oh, I could show you over here if it's working still. It was a moment ago. Oh, no, it's not now. Damn it. Because I've moved my mug. Okay, dude, we don't have the hands camera. Gosh darn it. Let me see. Reconnect. See, that should work. Oh, okay. You would think that would work when I say reconnect and okay, since they have that option in there. Sharon from Security badge. And on the end, it's held with two of those things. Let's show them to you. And as you can see, the yarn is wrapped all around the two things, which I guess I just take off the back. Oh, or they just come undone. So I'm going to just put in some plugs for all kinds of things, but apparently not on the... Moving on. So what I was working on that I've shown you at least once, I'm sure, is the 22 cowl, 22 for 2022 from Casapinka and Sharon from Security, the cat. And I started it in two colors of... My laptop's throwing a really big shadow because the sun's right there. Two colors of pink, a hot pink and then a hot pink with splotches. And as long as everything was this way, horizontal, all the changes, stripes or garter ridges or whatever, you could see the difference between the two colors. But then I got into a 2x2, we would call it Fair Isle, but Casapinka makes it more accessible by doing it as slip stitches that anyway, you work with one color at a time, but you end up with two stitch columns. And then I couldn't see the difference between the two yarns. So I not randomly, but I tore it out. And I pulled a gray that has see the colors in the gray? Aren't they pretty? Including a pink. So I started it over and I kept the ribbing just so that I didn't tear it completely out. And then this was the gray was supposed to, isn't that pretty? Was supposed to go into the Rick Rack shawl by Casapinka, but I pulled it out of that bag and put it into this bag. And I got that far, and now I can see the vertical or this way very well. And also this is showing up so much better because before, I guess it goes this way. Well, I mean, it's going to go this way. I'm not convinced that I'm actually on my way, but anyway, the verticals look really clear now as well. So I think that was a good choice. What do you think? I have other colors I could use, but I could also make other things with those other colors. So I unwound all the pink that I had used. I don't remember the name of it. I don't know where the tags are. I mean, I know they're in the house, probably in the studio. So I said I was going to put in a bunch of plugs. This, need some slack. This yarn snuggler, this one's called, has apples on it. This was a set of 4 from Jean Story's Mid-Mitten Designs shop. I had A and B because this pattern has A and B. So this is A because it's apples. B is berries, so there's strawberries and blueberries and probably other kinds of berries. C is cupcakes, and D is donuts, although I keep calling donuts bagels and then I get confused. I tend to do that. I have a group of friends who say, oh, don't get her started when we talk about like Columbus, for example, weirdly, because I will say to them, 1400, or they will say 1492 Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and I'll look at them and say 1493 Columbus sailed the deep blue sea, and they're like, don't do it, just shush. So I like, which one's correct, the first one, but who cares? Anyway, so I restarted that using the pink because I didn't want to redo the ribbing, the solid pink, and this, which I think it's a spun right round. I'm positive it's a spun right round yarn sock. And then this yarn snuggler, which isn't called a yarn snuggler. I don't remember what this is called. This is from Bink Waffle. And I got it at Woven Art. We're out of this color, but there's another one with, I don't know, forest things or desert things. I'm not quite clear. But this works also lovelily. Works very well. I'm a fan of the yarn bras. They're also called yarn bras. So I'm a fan. And then more plugs. That is, oh, now you can see that the plants really need water someday. So this is my project bag from oh, Mid-Mitten Designs, covered with cat and dog hair, as it should be. There's one inside pocket. This is also from Jean's shop, by the way. And what I like is that if I already have my arms full of things, I can grab this bag and just put it over my shoulder. I don't have to go like this, because this hand already has stuff in it, right? So the space here is big enough that I can just put it on. I have a jacket with one arm. And I mentioned that to Jean, and she said, I know, I studied armhole depths and in knitting patterns and all kinds of stuff to come up with that. And I was like, man, so she is somebody who puts in the thinking, the work to make the product the best that it can be. And I highly recommend. Plus, apples, berries. Now, those aren't available anymore. So she was just at Yarn Garden down in Charlotte for the shop hop. And I did run down with my cousins. We actually went to the Hen House quilt shop, but we couldn't pass up the Yarn Garden. And Jean was there with a display of her things, and she had a different set of ABCD cozies. I've talked about them on here before. And then her bags, her different shapes and styles of bags. Let's just see. No. Okay, whatever. So those are my plugs for Jean's products. 22, the Casapinka cowl. I have Madeline Tosh and Spun Right Round in there. I'm still thinking I might just start it completely over. But it's brought also with the two colors that contrast more. I know where I am. I've told you before, maybe it was on a Friday live stream, but I've told you before that I kept losing my place and had to pull back, and I'd probably knit the thing at least 2 times every row, except the ribbing. The ribbing I did okay with. So there you go. Claire's going to sing. I don't know if you can hear. We'll take a little tea break. I don't know if you can hear her. Other things that are new. The next 2 weekends, Saturday, Sunday, and Sunday, the 8th, the 9th, and the 17th. I just looked at the sun again, and now I'm completely blind. From 3 to 5 Eastern, each of those days, I'm teaching for Stitches, the October Stitches at Home event. And I'm teaching my Intarsia class, and I get to do an expanded version. So I've never before gone this far with Intarsia in front of people. And I just want to show you some of the samples from the class to kind of pique your interest. I'm sure there are spaces. I haven't heard lately how many, but I'm pretty sure there are still spaces. So you should sign up. It starts this Saturday. And it's fun. For signing up, you get entry into all the special events and coffees in the morning, virtual coffees in the morning with like-minded people. So what I wanted to show you though, my usual sample for the Intarsia class starts with stripes because that's like the easiest Intarsia there is. And this is my laptop shadow from the sun shining on it. So that's why we have the Sunrise Studio. So we're going to do that. And I think we're going to do more with that, but I forget what. And then this is the next part of the swatch that I normally do. So if you've taken my Intarsia class before, you've done both of these things or started that at least. So we're going to do this as well. We're also going to have a chance, these will be separate swatches. We'll also have a chance to do texture, which I never get to in class. There's never enough time. So this is some a cable, and this is some seed stitch with it. So Intarsia can be done with texture, so we're going to go through that. We're going to make do some argyle, classic argyle, and we're going to use duplicate stitch for the lines on top. So you don't have to do all of the finer bits with Intarsia, although you can. And we will talk about that. But you can use duplicate stitch to fill in some gaps or correct things that are not correct. Or put, for example, it doesn't just have to be for Intarsia. You can use it to put a name on a Christmas stocking, which I hope I never have to do again. Or if you don't know, I have a long history of making Christmas stockings for people I don't know. And I'm done now. We talk about yarn management and weaving in ends. Oh, I remember. Excuse me. I remember what else we're going to do with those columns. We're going to make checkerboards so that it's a little more exciting. And then talk about yarns that you can use and things you can use. And at the end, toward the end, when you've got all that under your belt, we're going to talk about drawing something onto a chart and knitting it. So this is something that I drew onto a piece of graph paper. And by chart, I mean graph paper. I don't mean chart, although it is a chart. It becomes a chart. But this is a free-form flower that I drew, and then I knitted it. And so we're going to do something like that on a smaller scale. Talk about the pluses and minuses and things you need to know and stuff like that. So let's see. I wanted to talk to you about my tea, my cup. Oh, another thing that I do on Mondays is we look at how many subscribers we have because we're trying to grow. And let's look and see, shall we? I'll use the iPad because everything else is busy. Although the phone's not super busy right now because I don't know what's wrong with that connection. It says waiting for connection, but it's, if I go like that. The only way I know how to fix it is to end the live stream, unplug the phone, plug the phone back in, start the live stream. And I don't want to end the live stream because we're already 2/3 of the way through. So I'm on my iPad. I forget why I'm on my iPad. We're looking up how many subscribers I have at my YouTube channel. Last week, where's all my stuff? I don't need this anymore. I'm not going to be able to get out of my room because I keep putting things on the floor. Here we go. Last week, I forgot to do it. And the week before that, I had 64. 64. So let's see how many we have now. I would show you on the hands camera, but I don't have the hands camera. Mean old hands camera. I have, let's find a page that's got less, that's all right. You can't see a damn thing. There we go. 69. I have 69 total subscribers. The goal, the first goal, the initial goal is 100, although I will tell you right now, I'll take 70. We have 69. 69. I'll take 70. But I'm looking for 100, and then the next goal is going to be 1,000. So that'll just take another couple of days. But I would love to see. I feel like it's been the WKAR, the local NPR stations, one of their fundraiser drives, and call now. I don't have any matching funds, but I just need one more subscriber to my YouTube channel, which you're watching right now if you're here. Um, so what I would like to say is tell all your friends. Have them subscribe. That's all they need to do, and then I have a bigger number. All right, let's do our weekly predictions for the future, which I would like to do on the hands camera, but the hands camera is being a butthead. Oh, that reminds me. Butthead doesn't come into it, but because Mondays are for beginnings. I'll tell you that I just started listening to an audiobook. It came up in the queue for me. Queue used to be a weird word that we didn't use, and now if you do any kind of streaming service, it's a normal word. Queue. QEUE. So it came up I had it on hold, and I don't know when it was published, but recently, because it refers to COVID times. I can find out when it was, but I'd rather get to let's finish a sentence, shall we? I'll find out when it was published. But what it is, I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it's called. Let's find out. It's written by Melissa Gilbert, Laura Ingalls from Little House on the Prairie. Melissa Gilbert book. I put an extra G in Gilbert book, and I only spelled book with one O. So let's see what we got. Books by Melissa Gilbert. Here it is. It's called Back on the Prairie, because apparently she wrote a book earlier called Prairie Tale, Tale. So this is called Back on the Prairie, and it takes place like in the 2010s. So it's more recent, and she wrote it in or it was published in, I should say. Oh my gosh. May of 2022. So it's very recent. And the reason Butthead reminded me of it is that it's our little Laura Ingalls, and she says the F word and all kinds of fun things. So it made me laugh. I'm very proud of her for being able to say the F word. But it's interesting. And I'll tell you another reason why it's interesting is that her husband, Timothy Busfield, he went to East Lansing High School. And he had moved back to, they didn't say where, and he had moved back to, they didn't say where, but he had gone to East Lansing High School. So he was from Michigan, and they got married, and she moved with him to Howell, which is half an hour from here, and rented a home. And I'll just stop there. But so then they moved somewhere else in Michigan, and it's local. It's Laura Ingalls, it's Melissa Gilbert, and she's just talking about her life as an older woman with a new marriage and moving around in the places she's never been, and says naughty words once in a while. And I'm only on, I don't know. She'll pause, and then you'll hear a short stream of words, which I assume are chapter titles, but she doesn't say like chapter 1, chapter 2. So I have no idea what chapter I'm on, but I'm about an hour and a half in, and I think it's about 7 hours or so. So the New York Times bestselling author and star of Little House on the Prairie returns, because she wrote that other book that I didn't know about, with a new hilarious and heartfelt memoir chronicling, how many syllables does chronicling have? Chronicling her journey from Hollywood to a ramshackle house in the Catskills during the COVID-19 pandemic. So I'm in the part where they are in they're gutting the ramshackle house in the Catskills. I'm assuming it will not be ramshackle at the end of the story, but it's kind of, this will not she kind of goes off and says a thing and then comes back to the story, but it's not a clear segue. I don't know who else talks like that, but she does come back to the story, although, it's a book, so she was able to read what she had been talking about before, unlike some people who just lose what they were doing and have trouble getting back to it. So I'm recommending, what else did I want to say about that? She's got her sweet little voice still as a 50-something-year-old woman. And yeah, it's fun. And then I'll have to go backwards in time and read her previous book. Read as in listening. And as I'm getting into audiobooks, I'm really enjoying the ones that are read by the authors because, they're reading it the way it was intended as far as stressing certain words or phrases or pausing the appropriate amount of time or whatever. You can't really put a pause into a book for a length of time, a written book. So here we go. I'm going to do our tarot reading. It's not a tarot reading. It's a Knitter's Oracle reading. Let's just go over here and see if I still have 69 subscribers. I do. So I give 3 shuffles. So here we go. 3 shuffles. You can probably hear them. There's one. Last week I had 2 of the 3 cards were cards I've had before, and so it wasn't very, they were in a different order, and I gave them different meanings, but, oops, that might have been 4, but we'll say it was 3. And then we cut, and last time I cut low, this time I'm going to cut high, because I think that's part of why I got the same cards. So what's going to happen is, this is the Knitter's Oracle deck, designed by Alexandra Tinsley from, last I knew she lived in Ypsilanti, Michigan. And it's shiny. It's got gold on the sides and in some of the cards. And we have suggestions for what things mean. Let's see how we can do this. I've done this before because the stupid hands camera is often a butthead. Whoops. So we're going to deal out 3. The first one is our subject. We don't usually have this much sunshine. The first one is our subject, and the next 2 are our modifiers, whatever the heck that means. Oh, good, we're getting something new. And you can't even see it. It's the first stitch. Here, we'll get more shade going on. It's the first stitch. That we haven't had that before. This person has on red nail polish, and they are doing a long tail cast on with the left hand and using a straight needle. That's what I can tell. So the first stitch. So I'm thinking that could mean, beginnings. Is it the first time we've done the first stitch, or is it the 22 cowl and we really should tear it back and use a different color besides pink? The second card, another new one, the hand knit gift. Oh, there's a lot of drama behind the hand knit gift, because who doesn't want a hand knit gift? But some people, it turns out, are not knit worthy, which is important to find out. And if you give the wrong person a gift, I'm talking about the boyfriend curse, then you may not have a boyfriend anymore. So, the hand knit gift can be, who doesn't want a hand knit gift? But some people apparently don't. Or, because they think it's garbage because somebody made it themselves. Anyway, we'll come back to that. And our second modifier, another new one, yay! The WIP. WIP, W-I-P, stands for work in progress, for those of you who don't know. And, okay, so we have a first stitch. We have a gift, a hand knit gift, and we have the work in progress. This one's done on circular needles. There's some garter stitch at the beginning. There's, wow, that's weird. Wait, we're on garter stitch now. There's ribbing at the beginning. And it looks like they're little V's, which would imply knit stitches. So either it's representing a field of stockinette stitch, the knit side of stockinette, or maybe it's a color work pattern. We don't have any yarn to come off to know if we have 1 or 2 balls going on. I read a lot into these cards, by the way. like probably more than it is intended. But and it's interesting to go from ribbing to, we'll say, stockinette to garter that quickly. So I don't know what they're making. Maybe a cowl? I don't know. Well, let's see what I'm putting those aside. And so then I look at what the what do we call this? Card sentences and the card interpretations. Okay, so I gave you my no idea what these cards mean. Oops. Oh, I think the hands camera might be coming back. Let me see. Let's just see if that is in fact what happened. No, but what if I now say to reconnect? I got a message that the pictures were being no, it still says waiting for connection. It's weird. Okay, we'll come back. I'm over time again. Let's see, face camera. All right, but not face camera, it's the cards camera. So the first stitch, according to the maker, Roman numeral 3, so that's early. The first stitch is intended to be interpreted as new endeavors, new beginnings, potential, fresh start, inexperience. Oh, inexperience. Otherwise, it wasn't a surprise to hear those. Also, a literal voyage, travel, adventure, exploration. Interesting. So like the bigger picture. I like inexperience. That one took me by surprise. A literal voyage, travel, adventure, exploration. Exploration. Okay. The hand knit gift is, I think that's 9. I'm upside down. Yep. Something nice. A kind gesture. A literal gift. We're using literal a lot, literally here. Flattery. Really? Politeness. Social nicety. Wow, that's went off in a weird direction. Something nice, a kind gesture, a literal gift. So that's like the face value. Flattery, politeness, social nicety. So to me, those are like, here's a housewarming gift because I think I should give you a housewarming gift or a hostess gift. And then, which I don't do, by the way, very often, just because there you go. 5, V, the whip, work in progress. Growth, evolution, solid foundation, health, the roots or basis of a thing. Growth, evolution, solid foundation, solid foundation. Whip, so it's a work in progress. Growth, evolution, so it's changing. Solid foundation, has a good base. Health, I have a doctor's appointment today. The roots or basis of a thing. Okay, so you get to look at my beautiful face while we're doing my interpretation based on that. Let's see. I'm going to flip them around so I can see. So the first stitch, what did they say that surprised me? Inexperience, and also a literal voyage, travel, adventure, exploration. I have to think a little bit. Hang on. I have to not go too far over because I have a doctor's appointment in an hour. New endeavors, new beginnings, potential. It's the first card, so this is the main thing. Fresh start. Potential. A literal voyage. So potential. Inexperience is interesting. Okay, and then the hand knit gift. Something nice, a kind gesture. Flattery, politeness, social nicety. Okay, I'm getting it. And number 5, growth, evolution, solid foundation, health, the roots or basis of a thing. The roots or basis of a thing. Let me read that one again. Growth, evolution, solid foundation. Okay, so here are my words for you this week. I like the inexperienced part. In new endeavors and new beginnings. Potential, fresh start, inexperience, also a literal voyage, travel, adventure, exploration. I'm going with inexperience and exploration and potential. So this is my advice to you, or this is my wish for you. We're going to try a new thing. We're going to reach out. We're going to reach out to people. We're going to say hi. We're going to look them in the eye when we say hi. We're going to refuse to be invisible. When I'm being treated invisibly, and you may know what I mean, you may not. I will look somebody like a barista at a coffee shop, they just hand over the drink or they just take your order and I say, "Thank you." And I stand there and I say, "Nice glasses," or something. And then they like snap up and look at me and then they'll smile and they'll say, "Thank you." And they might give me a compliment too. I don't even like their glasses, but I force them to acknowledge my existence so that I'm not invisible. So the first ditch for me is connect with people, make the effort, take the first step. Ooh, give them the gift of connection. How about that? Show them how to look somebody in the eye. Wow, this isn't going where I thought it was going to go, which builds a solid foundation for you as a person who connects and for them as a person who responds to other people. I'm going to stop there. That didn't go where I thought it was going to go. So we're going to work on connection and getting other people's focus to be on other people also. Not getting, but encouraging. So connect with people. Encourage them to connect with others by just looking you in the eye and smiling. Look at them in the eye and smile. See if you can get them to look you in the eye and smile. I like it. Okay, it's 9:37. I'm going to sign off. You have a great week. Thank you for being here. There we go. I'll talk to you later.